Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So we had an NGS headline wave, meaning I have another update for you guys today. But before we jump to that, if you're here, as always, my name is Chrono. I primarily cover PSO2. Would much appreciate to subscribe as we work our way towards that 10K mark, hopefully by the end of this year. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. All right, so the headline this time around, actually pretty solid. Nothing too crazy, nothing like super over the top that I was like, oh my god, I need to have all of this, or this is like the greatest thing ever. It's pretty comfortably like kind of a just chill patch. A lot of rehash stuff, a lot of extra bonuses and things you can pick up for right now. But if you're kind of caught up on what's going on, your gear is pretty much solid. This is more like just your excuse to build other things that you normally wouldn't build, right? Like, so if you want to build up a new weapon, you want to build up, you know, gear for your secondary, tertiary classes, you want to build up, you know, just things like that. That's kind of the time you can do this sort of thing. But other than that, realistically speaking, if you're caught up mostly, don't care about the fashion, you can pretty comfortably chill for right now at the very least. But first thing they showed off was the new AC Punkish Street. Now, this is kind of what's giving my like extra little bump as far as a rating goes, up to 7. Without this, it's probably a 6. Primarily because this looks sick. These shoes are also sold separately, so you can buy these shoes for other outfits, which will probably be my new favorite shoes in the entire game. So I don't know how much these are going to cost, but it's going to be a pain in the butt to get them. Either way, super sick looking. But a new punkish look is awesome because the accessories are also going to go really, really well. Hairstyle's kind of whatever, but I dig it overall. I dig the overall look, so pretty dope. Also, you can very obviously see SEGA saw the Minecraft movie. Because they said, why not give them Minecraft Steve minecart movement? So Punkish Scratch looks pretty cool. Or Punkish Street looks pretty cool. We also have the Roddy class augments coming. Now, keep in mind, these are the same. This is the same AC support scratch I told you guys about like a month ago that was coming. So you've had time to stock up for this. If you can't get this, don't stress it. They're gonna be around for a little bit, honestly, and they do rerun them, and it's a very, 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 very high chance we'll see this rerun at least a month or two from now, primarily because we're likely going to see a new weapon popping up, not this month, not next month, but the month after, if not shortly after that. So just keep that in mind. Yes, I know we do have the Legendios set, but those are meant to be supportive weapons, or the support style of weapons. We do still have our main line weapons on the horizon, so keep an eye out for that. But we do have the AC support item select, as well as the rewind collection, and the Roddy class augments will be replacing the Anati class augments. However, they will not replace the Lars class augments, so they will go along with Lars class augments, and you'll have Roddy will be the new setup there. But as is always the case, if you don't spend on the game, don't spend your money. You don't have to. Just stock on Meseta. You'll be able to buy what you need. And like in most cases, just getting the Roddy class anything is going to be better than your Naughty class. So just get the cheapest if you need to. You don't need to worry too much about anything too crazy there. LTQ Omen to the Planet Breaker. They're doing this thing where they're bringing back all of the original like limited time urgent quest as limited time quests with these new these drops, the Legendios weapons, and then the Straceptor, which is used to make the Magus Dreadkeeper 2, which is going to make a Bandak even easier to set up. But that's gonna be with the caveat we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But yeah, overall, very easy to farm out. You have a chance of having these drop directly anyway, so in case you want to go ahead and get some more Bandak set up, you have that going for you. We also have a LTQ two-way battle. Basically, you're going to have the ability to run this LTQ. I believe it's a 12-man. It's going to be divided into 2 separate groups. So 2 6-man. Is it 2? I don't know how they're going to do this. To be perfectly honest, it's a 12-man, but they're going to divide you into into groups of 6. We'll have to see how it goes. Because usually 12-man is what? It's 3 groups of 4. So either way, no big deal. But you'll be able to essentially help each other out on either side. There's gonna be like buttons and stuff like that. They're gonna interact with either side, give you guys like explosions and bonuses and all kinds of cool stuff. So basically, you're playing Portal, but in PSO2. Good luck with Jolly Cooperation with randoms. I hope the best for all of you. We have the Fantastic Symphony scratch, basically kind of like a high fantasy scratch. Pretty cool looking. The big takeaway here is this really sick looking camo, as well as it looks like it is now Rod's turn to get a idol as well as a dash. So the Motion Glide Lympher's Rod EX, and of course there's a regular variant of this. Basically you have your idle and your dash and your glide and all that good stuff coming up for Rod. So Rod is the next one on the horizon there. Again, they talk about the second half of the NGS 4th anniversary campaign, so that's pretty cool. Super Genesis campaign is essentially giving us just a bunch of buffs. Take advantage of them if you're online. If you're not the end of the world. Don't worry too much about it. They go through all this stuff. We've been through this multiple times as it is. Weekly gifts, all that cool stuff. So yeah, nothing new there. They are also still doing the, of course, Super 10-a-day free scratch part 2 is coming up on the 13th, where they're going to be adding in some more stuff in there. We have Glenn's daggers, we have Kanui's hair, we have a bunch of cool things. We're also going to be adding in the Super SG item recycle, where they have items from last year added in there. So in case you missed on anything you want to go ahead and get, there it is, they're available to you. So be able to get a hold of it. There's also going to be a super reward box. The super reward box is going to essentially have more stuff in it. It's going to be jam-packed with more rewards. So more SG, more of the reactors. I know some people kind of have difference of feeling about these, where they want to have more of the previous items brought back, things of that sort. Honestly, I kind of want a mix of the two. I want the ability to get those items, but I want to be able to exchange them for these, because I really don't care too much about a lot of those previous items, and a lot of people who do. So if you had the ability to just exchange them for this stuff, then I think that'd be a much better overall option. Either way, W for me may not be a W for some. Understandable. We also have pre-announced urgent quests during that time. I believe they're twice. Yep, complete them twice. So super cool there. Usually it's reduced HP, but apparently recently they haven't been, which in my opinion is a W, because reduced HP does not need to be necessary for those. Now we also have the weekly Alpha Super Origin gifts that they're giving. We talked about them earlier. They reference them in here. Show this to someone who doesn't have their Mars updated to scare them. Ooh, scary Mars updater. Also, we have Dust Lavera Suppression Op. This one's kind of weird because they talked about it with basically having a title, or not title, I'm sorry, a timer that essentially, while you're, I'm sorry, no, it's in 2 parts technically. So we have Dust Lavera Suppression Op featuring different enemies and enemy levels from the previous version 2. It's essentially you have to fight Dustle again. This is actually really like this urgent quest when it was around, because I liked fighting Dustle, but is what it is, no big deal. We also have Writhing Malice. Writhing Malice Confined is a quest set in the Dresden plant where you aim to clear all the enemies with waves of certain time limits. So basically, they set this up as like having a time limit for killing enemies, and completing those waves gives you more time. It's an LTQ, so I'm not sure how difficult that's actually going to be. We'll have to see. Maybe it'll be an LTQ that people have difficulties with as like, you know, randos, but realistically, kind of like gonna, you know, set up a proper pre-organized group. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. But yeah, 2 LTQs. These are an alternate daily apparently, so that should be interesting. And moving forward, we have Renewed Resurgence. So this is a SG scratch. The SG scratch has essentially basically brought back Fire Eyes outfit for type 1 and type 2, but also has these new types of outfits called Full Wear, I believe, is something along those lines, where you just directly turn into the characters. You can't customize them, you can't change them, anything along those lines. No height, no nothing. Basically, all of the customization is disabled while you have this on, but you basically directly turn into the NPCs with their exact proportions. So pretty cool. And also the other thing mentioned here is a forward roll. I'm mad. It's a scratch count bonus. It's going to eat up my SG, but I want it. So it is what it is. We also have the next mission pass. Shows off some accessories they have for it. Shows off the mag form that we've got, so on and so forth. They make a big, you know, scuff over the whole the cybernetic headphones, which look cool. Don't get me wrong, but like whatever, you know. We also have another revival. They're pretty much doing revivals every month, more or less, a lot during the festivals. So if there's anything that you happen to miss out on, you have access to getting a hold of it. And if you're like, hey, they want my money, I don't want to spend it, don't. Just let someone else spend it, and that means it's going to go up on the shop. So that's just how those things go. Basically, it just gives the ability for more of these to pop up. That way you can spend your meseta on it instead of spending your hard-earned cash on it. So pretty dope. And that is it for the first half. Moving on to the second half. So Planet Crusher, same sort of thought process, new tasks, 8-man version of it. It is what it is. Basically, it allows you to fight it in the non-4-man version. He's a little bit more difficult, but he's not as difficult as the 4-man. This is not really that big of a deal, to be perfectly honest. They didn't really mention any drop specific with this, so I'm assuming it's gonna be the same as the previous one. So likely going to see Legend Dios, likely going to see the items to make Magus Grand Dread Keeper 2, that sort of thing. We have the slime collab. They show off the login item bonuses, so we can see all those there. And then they show off the actual scratch. We have the outfits that are available here, which is pretty dope. Rimuru, Shuna, Shion, Milium, all awesome outfits. They show off camos. Funny enough, the katana camo is actually a harmonizer camo, which is rare. Harmonizer's getting camos. Wild thought, I know. Hold on. Okay, apparently that's not working out right. Anyway, so that's pretty dope. And of course, all the other stuff they show off here. They mentioned specifically that the emotes are scratch count bonuses. So if you're an emote collector, bust out your wallet. I pray for you. And then of course, PSO2 memories. This is just specifically an accessories scratch, and it's every 15 draws is scratch count bonus tickets. You can pick whatever item you want every 15 draws. So if you're not lucky enough to get the item that you want, you can select it manually with 15 draws. If there's a specific accessory that you're looking for that's a base PSO2 accessory, well, it's a good time to get it. If you're going to spend money on it, totally fine if you want to, up to you. I like to mention the 5-frame flame. Super funny. They also mentioned it during the headline. They're like, oh, dude, the flame's back. You get to see it in NGS graphics glory. A bit of cap there, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Let's see. So we also have the limited time quest Snowy Confirmation in Kavaris. This is essentially one of those quests where you farm points. It's like a last hitting quest or whatever. Usually these don't matter all that much. It's just an LTQ that's going to have probably most of the materials you need for the current upgrades and things of that sort. This is going to be a vehicle to deliver you updates and upgrades that you might need if you still are in the process of building up your character. That's pretty much it. This is kind of one of those nothing LTQs. So at most, maybe do it for your daily. You'll get the limited time task done and then move on. If you need to farm an LTQ, that'll be there when it's up. The 27th, we have the AC support select and SG supports item select. So we have AC bringing back the Lars augments. So this is specifically for the Lars capsules. And then of course the SG support select for the pre-enhancement skills and things of that sort. The reason why we mentioned earlier that these are kind of coming through quickly, if you miss them, you miss them, not a big deal, is because very obviously they always do a cycle of release new weapon and they run all of these scratches. This is one of the first times where they've announced both of these in the same month. So to me, that tells me that they were likely going to be doing a new weapon the following month in that situation, because then they'll run these again for that next weapon. They usually run one every single time there's a weapon that comes out. So if you happen to miss the Roddy capsules, there's a good chance, now granted, I can't guarantee this, but there's a good chance that they're going to rerun that scratch again the following month. So don't burn all of your Meseta. If the prices are in a situation where it doesn't make any sense, that's totally fine. Hold on to your money. The way you screw yourself over is purchasing off season. That is what happened with the Anati capsules. That is what I warned everyone to not do unless they really, really, really needed to. And of course, they brought out the Roddy capsules. So please, please, please make proper decisions. Don't screw yourselves over. Don't give money to the scalpers. It's really, really dumb. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the update information. Again, not a whole lot of stuff going on there. Then we had the operation report. So letter from the developers. They confirmed that they will be increasing the level cap on weapons and units. So they're going to be going up to 100 and they're going to add an 8th augment slot. They also mentioned specifically they'll be adding in a new augment. We don't know what that augment is, but it's supposed to help with, taking care of like that 8th augment slot. So just keep that in mind. Expect a new augment. They could have meant it like, bringing back some augments we've had previously. So keep that in mind. But they phrased it in a way that they're saying they're bringing out a new augment. So just be prepared for that. There's some balance adjustment for preset skills on the horizon. We still don't know anything about PAs just yet for balance adjustments. It's something that is needed in my opinion. But they did confirm that we do have some balance adjustments coming in for preset skills. So keep that in mind. This is primarily due to the fact that a Bandak basically is like the de facto choice for everything. Like it's basically a Bandak is the more expensive choice, but now it's not really even the more expensive choice. Now it's just like the better choice no matter what the circumstances are. A Bandak is just the strongest choice for basically everything unless you're a Slayer and then you take Termina. So this is likely something they were looking at as a problem. Previously, it used to be that there was kind of like a give and take on a Bandak. You can get a lot of power, but you kind of had to sacrifice by getting specific augments. You couldn't get the best augments in that situation. That's no longer the case. Now you can get the best augments and also have a Bandak. So basically every other preset skill situation is just weaker. Likely, they mentioned specifically things like fix a Wix and so on. So my guess is they're going to be buffing the conditional based preset skills. So you're likely going to see something like Unwix and Wix become stronger, just because realistically speaking, Wix and Unwix, if used in the right situation, should be the stronger options because they have such drastic drawbacks, being that if they're used in the wrong situations, they're substantially weaker. So you're likely going to see some increases there. They did also mention Blaster. That is going to be a case where Blaster is probably going to be really good. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward. Abandak kind of just has become the de facto, it's just like attack, but better. So we'll have to see how things are going to work out. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I'm not sure how much they're going to buff things. Likely you're going to see things become closer to Abandak, and some things I expect to be stronger. I expect Wix to become stronger. I expect Unwix to become stronger than Abandak, just because it makes perfect sense. Blaster and attack, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure where they're going to go with that one, and we'll have to see whenever it becomes a thing. If you're someone who wants to plan in advance, maybe have some swap overs for some other augments you can go for, or some other preset skills you can go after. So it just depends on the individual. But I mean, likely it's going to be fine anyway, so don't worry too much about it. And if you're not built a Abandak, well then, hey, dude, there's a good chance that you're probably just going to get stronger for no reason. So pretty cool. But as far as questions go, the first one was they have two questions related to chat stuff. Make it possible to chat in the salon, and allow us to use chat during all ship matchmaking. TLDR is first one. Working on a second one, no. That's pretty much the TLDR. The first one, this is actually pretty cool because I know a lot of people that sit in the salon all the fucking time. So the ability to be able to chat from the salon is really, really cool. Second question, possible to have my character move their mouth to match what I say in the chat. So this one's interesting. They basically said, based on the current system that they use for the characters in game, TLDR was no, which tells me the way that your character works like isn't set for the model to move in that sort of way. At least not outside of cutscenes is my best guess. And if you even think about it, even in cutscenes, you kind of don't move your mouth anyway. You kind of just nod, or like, yeah, like it's one of those situations where you really don't move your mouth anyway. So my best guess is that it's just a situation where your character's just not set to do that. And that's likely due to how like much customization you have over your character, seeing as you can control like how your mouth is opened and closed and all kinds of shit. It'd probably be super, super cursed if they allowed you to do that. Would it be great if you could have the Rappy cushion as a build part? TLDR, yes. They just said, yeah, we're going to do that. New faces being added in. They have like this thing they showed off that was basically like almost an ad reel. So I'm just going to let that run for you guys so you can enjoy that really quick. It's very, very short. If it loads, I don't know if it's gonna, because this was having some really, really weird times loading. So actually, you know what? Where we at in this? All right, here we go. It took me a second to find it, but we got it. That's crazy. They just hit you with an ad right in the middle of it. They gave you an excuse to hit you with the ad reel. But anyway, so yeah, TLDR, new faces, new anime boy faces. Satellite info. So that was pretty much it for the operation report. Satellite info wasn't too crazy. The Rockasiel kit is coming back out. This is just not loading properly. I'm not sure what's going on. One sec, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the way this is working out recently, but it is what it is. No big deal. So anyway, we have the Rockasiel kit. Basically, it's gonna be made out of plastic, and you can pose it like an action figure. So pretty cool stuff there. We also have, they're doing a, what is this? Headline wave together. Basically, they're doing a screenshot campaign thing again, similar to like what was done previously in the past. Screenshot campaigns are coming up again. All you have to do is follow Play PSO2, post the screenshot with the proper hashtag, and they'll pick 5 winners to get some extra stuff. So pretty cool. Love to see it. And that is basically it. They then went over the song from, I almost said Kavaris, dude. It's Stia, this song from Stia, the Glenn Stia song, and that's pretty much it. And that's more or less it. That's pretty much all of the update information that you guys would need from the headline. As I mentioned previously, it's nothing crazy. It's pretty chill this time around, but yeah, it's all pretty solid stuff, man. Honestly, if you're looking to get caught up, now is a good time to. If you're not, and you like, I'm looking for new content, keep playing something else, man. This isn't it. At least not right now. I think there's like something coming on, like, or something planned for like after June or whatever. But to be perfectly honest, right now it seems like it's very, very, very chill. Like just update info. I'm sorry, catch up info, as well as events for you to basically stock up on stuff. Kind of like the calm before the storm. So keep stocking up on your items as much as possible. That way you are ready for the future. That's pretty much it. Let me know if there's anything I missed in the comments below. As always, like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to keep up with more. Thanks again to the channel members. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, my friends. Peace out.